So when it ends, I go to stop. Good morning, everybody. This morning we are going to look at Protozoa, and let's straight away go to the introduction. Protozoa, these are a group of single-celled eukaryotic organisms that belong to the kingdom Protista. They are found in every environment on Earth. Let's discuss the importance of Protozoa. Protozoa play critical roles in nutrition, cycling, food webs, and bio and bio or in biogeochemical processes. Let's look at the features of protozoa. Protozoa, they are eukaryotic single-celled organisms. They do not have a cell wall. They have a nucleus like other organelles. They are heterotrophic or autotrophic. In other words, they are heterotrophic or autotrophic. That is the metabolism they exhibit. Let's continue with the importance of protozoa. They are unicellular organisms that are motile. In other words, they move, and their movement is accomplished by certain structures which they possess, and these structures are known as cilia, flagella, or pseudopodia. Protozoa reproduce by asexual or sexual means. Let's look at the nutrition in protozoa. Protozoa can be heterotrophic or autotrophic and may obtain nutrition by ingesting other organisms or by the process of photosynthesis. Let's look at the classification of protozoa. Protozoa are classified based on their mode of locomotion or movement, their morphology, that is the shape, and genetic relationships. Traditionally, protozoa have been grouped into four: phyla, that is groups. We have the first group known as Saccharomatophora, or the flagellates and the amoeba. Then we have the second group, which is known as Ciliophora or ciliates. Then we have the Amphicomplexa or sporozoans. And the fourth one is Microsporidia or Microsporidians. Most recent molecular studies have proposed several new taxonomic classifications, including a revised classification of the Protista that emphasizes the phylogenetic relationships between different organisms. Let's look at the diversity of protozoa. Protozoa exhibit a remarkable diversity in terms of their morphology, that is their shape, their physiology, and ecology. Major groups of protozoa: we have the flagellates, The flagellates, these are protozoa that move by means of a whip-like structure which is known as a flagella, and the flagellates are commonly found in aquatic environments and include both free-living and parasitic species. Then we have the ciliates. Ciliates are protozoans that move by means of numerous hair-like structures, and these numerous hair-like structures are known as cilia. The ciliates are characterized by their complex cellular organization, and they include the presence of two nuclei, that is the macronucleus and the micronucleus, and a variety of specialized organelles. Then we have the amoeba. The amoeba are also protozoans that move by means of pseudopodia, which are temporary extensions of the cell membrane, which help it to move. So the amoeba are mostly found in a variety of aquatic and terrestrial habitats, and many of the species are capable of phagocytosis, which means engulfing and ingesting food particles. Let's still continue with the diversity of the protozoa. We have the apicomplexans. The apicomplexans are protozoa that are characterized by a unique apical complex which is used to penetrate host cells. Many of the apicomplexans are obligate intracellular parasites, and they are responsible for a number of important human and animal diseases. The microsporidians are protozoans that are characterized by small size and unique spore-forming structure. They are obligate intracellular parasites that also infect a wide range of hosts, including insects, fish, and mammals. Let's move on to the morphology and the actual structure of protozoa. Protozoa exhibit or show a wide range of morphological and actual structural features that are adapted to their diverse lifestyles. Some of the key cellular structures and organelles found in the protozoa include the following. We have the nucleus, and the nucleus is the one which contains mostly the genetic material of the cell, such that the cell can be able to continue with reproduction and also transferring the genetic material to other cells during the process of reproduction. Then we have the mitochondria. Mitochondria are organelles that are responsible for energy production. Then we have the endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is a network of membranes that are involved in protein synthesis and lipid metabolism for the cell. Then we have the Golgi apparatus. This is a system of membranes that is involved in protein modification and storing. We have the lysosomes. Lysosomes are organelles that are involved in intracellular digestion and also recycling. Then we have the contractile vacuoles. Contractile vacuoles, these are organelles that are involved in osmotic regulation. Then we have the chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are organisms that are responsible for photosynthesis, and they are found in some of the photosynthetic protozoa. They help it to manufacture food. Let's look at the cell surface structures. The cell surface structures include the plasma membrane, and plasma membrane is a selectively permeable barrier that separates the cell from its environment. Because this membrane is selectively permeable, it means that it will allow in certain other substances to go into the cell, and it may not allow other substances to go into the cell or out of the cell. Then we have the glycocalyx. Glycocalyx is a layer of polysaccharides and proteins that surrounds the cell membrane and plays a role in cell-to-cell interactions and adhesion. Then we have the flagella, cilia, or pseudopodia. These are structures that are responsible for locomotion and also feeding. Then the other cell surface structures are the cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton is made up of protein filaments that provide structural support and also facilitate cell movement and shape changes. Let's look at the structures, reproductive structures of protozoa. Protozoa can reproduce asexually or sexually depending on the species, because we looked at several species of protozoa, so some of them can reproduce asexually, the other ones sexually. Asexual reproduction means or involves cell division or budding, while sexual reproduction may involve the fusion of gametes or the exchange of genetic material. If we say the fusion of gametes, it means that the female will donate its gamete, which is the ova, then the male will donate its gamete, then the gametes from the male and the female will fuse, and when they fuse, automatically there is also exchange of genetic material. Let's look at the physiology of protozoa. Protozoa exhibit a long range of physiological adaptations that allow it to survive and thrive in a variety of environments. Some of the key physiological processes in protozoa include metabolism and nutrition. Protozoa may be autotrophic, heterotrophic, or mixotrophic, depending on the species, because we outlined several kinds of protozoa. Autotrophic protozoa can synthesize their own food through the process of photosynthesis, while heterotrophic protozoa obtain their foods by ingesting other organisms or organic matter. Meanwhile, mixotrophic protozoa are capable of using both photosynthesis and phagotrophy. Let's look at respiration and gas exchange in protozoa. Protozoa obtain oxygen through the process of diffusion across the cell membrane. Some species have specialized structures such as the trachea or gills that help to facilitate gas exchange. Let's look at osmoregulation and excretion. Protozoa maintain a balance of water and solutes within their cells in order to survive. Otherwise, if there was no maintenance of water and solutes within their cells, it means that protozoa may not be able to survive. So, protozoa typically regulates its osmotic pressure through the use of contractile vacuoles or specialized structures. So excretion may occur through the plasma membrane or specialized organelles such as lysosomes. Let's look at movement and locomotion. Protozoa. Remember we said that protozoa move by means of flagella, cilia or pseudopodia, which are driven by the cytoskeleton. Some species may also exhibit gliding or floating behavior, which is also still being facilitated by the cytoskeleton of the protozoa. So the mode of movement depends on the species, because we said that there were several species of protozoa, and also the environment in which the protozoa lives. Let's look at the life cycle and reproduction of protozoa. Protozoa exhibit a range of reproductive strategies, including asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction, and alternation in generations. The life cycle of a specific protozoan species may be simple, complex, depending on the species and its environment. Let's look at asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction in protozoa may occur through the process of cell division, budding, or fragmentation. What does it mean? It means that the cell divides. Then in some species, asexual reproduction may result into the formation of colonies or aggregates of cells. Let's look at sexual reproduction in protozoa. Sexual reproduction in protozoa involves the fusion of the gametes or the exchange of genetic material between the male and the female protozoa. Some species also exhibit conjugation, that is a form of sexual reproduction in which two individuals exchange genetic material through specialized structures. Let's look at alternation of generations. Some protozoa exhibit a complex life cycle that involves alternating between sexual and asexual phases. This may occur through the formation of different types of cells or through the development of specialized structures such as cysts. Let's continue to the life cycles of specific protozoa. The life cycle of a specific protozoa species is influenced by a range of factors, and these factors include the environment, availability of nutrients, and the interaction with the other organisms. For example, some parasitic protozoa may require multiple hosts to complete their life cycle, while others may alternate between a free living and parasitic phase. Let's look at the ecology of protozoa. Protozoa play important roles in the ecosystem as primary producers, consumers, and decomposers. The protozoa also interact with the other organisms in complex ways and are influenced by a range of environmental factors. Let's look at the roles of protozoa in the ecosystems. Photosynthetic protozoa, such as some that have flagellates and cilia, these are important primary producers in the aquatic ecosystems. That is aquatic ecosystems, that is systems where there is mostly water. and the heterotrophic protozoa, some of which are the amoeba and the ciliates. These are important consumers and they help regulate populations of bacteria and other microorganisms. What does it mean? It means that these heterotrophic protozoa, they feed on the bacteria and also other microorganisms. So it brings about regulation of the populations of bacteria and other microorganisms. Let's continue with the alternation of generations. The decomposer protozoa, some of which are the flagellates and the ciliates, these help to break down organic matter and release nutrients back into the ecosystem, such that the plants can be able to utilize the nutrients. Alteration, let's continue still with the alteration of protozoa generation. Let's continue with the alteration of generations. Protozoa interact with the other organisms in a variety of ways. Protozoa interact with the other organisms in a variety of ways, such as predators, parasites, symbionts. Some parasitic protozoa can cause significant damage to their hosts and are responsible for a wide range of human and animal diseases. We are still continuing with the alterations of generations, environmental factors affecting protozoan populations. Protozoa are influenced by a wide range of environmental factors. These environmental factors include temperature, the pH, nutrition availability, and competition with the other microorganisms. So, changes in environmental conditions such as pollution or climate change, these ones have a significant effect on protozoan populations and also ecosystem dynamics. What do we mean by this? If they are high, if the temperatures are very high, or if the pH becomes too acidic or too alkaline, and if nutrients are available or they are very scarce, it means that there will be changes in the populations of this protozoa in the ecosystem. Let's look at protozoan diseases because we said that protozoa were responsible for causing some diseases in animals and also some other diseases in humans. Protozoa are responsible for a number of important human and animal diseases. These diseases can be caused by a wide range of protozoan species and can have significant impacts on health and well-being. Human diseases caused by protozoa. Some of the most important protozoal diseases in human beings include malaria, Chagas disease, leishmaniasis, gardiasis, and toxoplasmosis. These diseases are caused by different species of protozoa, and they are transmitted by various routes, which include mosquito bites, contaminated water or food, and direct contact with infected animals or humans. Let's look at the animal diseases caused by protozoa. Protozoa can cause a wide range of diseases in animals, including the livestock and companion animals. Some examples include babesiosis, thyreliosis, coccidiosis, and trichomoniasis. These diseases have significant economic impacts, particularly in agriculture and veterinary. What do we mean by having economic impacts? It means that if a lot of the livestock have been infested with these diseases, then it means that the owners of the livestock will not have healthy livestock to sell by the end of the day, or most of them may die if they have not been treated. And also human beings, when they get sick, obviously if they are not treated, they cannot be able to work. So if they cannot be able to work, it means that in terms of the economy will be very poor because nobody is there to work. Let's look at the pathogenesis of protozoal infection. The pathogenesis of protozoal infections can vary depending on the species and the host. Protozoa may cause diseases through direct contact, through direct tissue damage, the release of toxins, or the activation of the host immune system. Some protozoal species are also able to evade the host immune system and establish chronic infection. Let's look at how we can diagnose and treat some of the protozoal diseases. The diagnosis and treatment of protozoal diseases can be complex and may require specialized laboratory testing and clinical expertise. Treatment may involve the use of anti-protozoal drugs, for example, antimalarials, anti-protozoals, as well as supportive care and management of symptoms. Let's move on to the evolution and phylogeny of protozoa. Evolution and phylogeny of protozoa. Protozoa exhibit a diverse range of evolutionary histories and also relationships. So understanding the phylogenetic relationships between different groups of protozoa is important for understanding their diversity, ecology, and evolution. Let's look at the evolutionary history of protozoa. The evolutionary history of protozoa is complex and it still remains a subject of active research. Protozoa are thought to have diverged from other eukaryotic lineages early in the history of the life of Earth on Earth. It means early during the time of creation, that is early during the time of Genesis, and have ever since evolved a wide range of adaptations and lifestyles. Let's look at the molecular phylogenetic of protozoa. The molecular phylogenetic studies have shedded light on the evolutionary relationships between the different groups of protozoa, and the studies use molecular data such as the study of the DNA, that is the deoxyribonucleic acid sequences, to infer relationships between the different species and also groups. Molecular phylogenetics has also led to the recognition of new other groups of protozoa and has helped clarify the relationships between the different groups. Relationship among protozoan groups. Protozoa, remember we said, are classified based on a wide range of morphological and molecular characteristics. The relationships between the different protozoa groups, remember we said they are complex and they continue to be refined through ongoing research. So some protozoa groups, such as the CDS, these are relatively well understood, while others, such as the microsporidians, are still a subject of active debate and also research, which means that they have not yet been fully understood. That's why active research has to continue. Let's look at techniques used for studying protozoa. While studying protozoa can be a little bit challenging. This is because of their small size, their complex morphology, and the diversity of habitats and lifestyles. However, there are a range of techniques that are available for studying protozoa, and these include: 1. Microscopy. A microscope is a key tool for studying protozoa because it allows researchers to observe their morphology, their ultrastructure, and behaviors. Different types of microscopes are used. For example, we have the light microscope, the electron microscope, the fluorescence microscopy. This can be used to visualize the different aspects of the protozoan biology. Another method of studying protozoa is by use of culture. Culture methods have been used to grow protozoa in the laboratory, and they provide a controlled environment, and this provides a controlled environment for studying their growth, their metabolism, and behavior. Different culture methods may be used, and also this depends on the species and also the requirements the species require for it to grow in the laboratory. Let's look at some of the molecular techniques. Molecular techniques such as the PCR and DNA sequencing can also be used to identify and characterize protozoan species, the study of their genetic diversity, and also explore their evolutionary relationships. So these techniques are particularly useful for studying non-cultivatable or difficult to observe species. Then biological and physiological assays. Biological and physiological assays. These can be used to measure the protozoan's metabolic activity and function. These assays can provide insights into the protozoan physiology, behavior, and responses to external stimuli that the protozoa will have been exposed to. Let's look at applications of protozoa. Remember, protozoa has a wide range of applications in biotechnology, research and development, agriculture, and also aquaculture. Let's look at biotechnology and bioremediation. Protozoa can be used in biotechnology applications, for example, the production of enzymes and bioactive compounds. They can also be used in bioremediation. Some of the species are capable of breaking down pollutants and other environmental contaminants, especially if a place is having a lot of pollution. Protozoa can be used to reduce the pollution, and also protozoa can be used to reduce the what? The environmental pollution. Research and development. Protozoa are important model organisms for studying basic physiological processes such as cell biology, genetics, and evolution. Protozoa have also been used in drug discovery and development. Some of the species are known to produce bioactive compounds. Let's look at research and development, agriculture, and aquaculture. Protozoa play roles in agriculture and aquaculture because they are involved in nutrient cycling, and the regulation of microbial populations. What do we mean by this? It means that the protozoa break down some of the nutrients, and when these nutrients are broken down, some of the plants are going to use the nutrients for food, and some of this protozoa is also going to eat up some of the microorganisms, hence reduction of the microorganisms in the population. Some species can also be used as indicators of environmental health or disease in livestock and aquaculture systems. In summary, we had an introduction to protozoa and we looked at the importance of protozoa. We looked at the nutrition in protozoa. We looked at the diversity of protozoa, the morphology and structure of protozoa. We looked at the physiology of protozoa and its roles in the ecosystem. Then we also looked at diseases caused by protozoa and their treatment. Then we also looked at research and development as pertaining to protozoa. Thank you for listening and have a blessed day.